Hi everyone, welcome back to my floss tube. My name is Rachel, this is Lemonade Stitching, and today we are going over my 2026 plans for my year of blackbirds. So I mentioned in my last floss tube that 2026 is going to be my year of blackbirds. I've been working on building a collection of Blackbird Designs charts, both current and out of print charts. And I have them in their own little like magazine holder, and it's getting pretty full. And I was thinking to myself last year, I need to start going through these. I need to start these and not be so like they just sit here and I look at them, but also I stitch them too. So I figured the best way to do that was start a new Blackbird chart every single month of the year to kind of get me going, get me looking through those, picking out some of my favorites, and starting to stitch them. So I've got a big project bag here of all the charts I picked out to stitch this year, and I thought we'd just go through them together. I'd kind of tell you what my plans are if I've thought that far. Some of them I've just picked out the charts, others I have started kitting up, fully kitted up, whatever it may be. Exactly 2 people asked for this on my floss tube, so thank you to you both, and I hope if you're here you enjoy watching and hearing about my plans. Before I jump into the charts, I do want to say one other note. I tend to do a lot of color conversions, especially for my Blackbird charts that I stitch, because I find that the called for colors have either just changed so much in dye lot, or the colors are like completely different from the cover photos that I've got some changes to make. Usually I try to stay within the same vein of the project. Every once in a while I'll go crazy and change up the colors completely. So when I finish stitching projects, I make a cute little graphic and I post it on my Instagram, Lemonade Stitching, same as my YouTube, and I put it on my conversions story highlight. And I like to wait till I finish stitching just in case I make any changes to the colors that I initially pull. But if at any point throughout the year you're wondering, what do you have pulled so far? What are you stitching that with? Feel free to message me, email me, leave a comment, and I'm happy to let you know like what the conversion is that I currently have. I just won't post it until I finish the project and take a photo of it. So that's it on color conversions. Now let's jump into all the charts. We'll start with January. Full transparency, it's February already, so I already stitched January, but the project I chose for that was Down in the Valley. It's a little Rewards of Merit pin cushion. I don't think these have like numbers or anything, but it's a little house and a big flower, which is pretty common theme for Blackbird. And I did finish this already. I stitched it on some scrap neutral linen. And this one I did do some color conversions. I stayed mostly true to the cover image with some slight changes, mainly in the leaves. In the photo, they're blue and green, but in mine, I did them light green and dark green. So that is Down in the Valley, my first start and finish of this series. And I haven't started any of the rest of these, so that was just a one-off, and then color conversion is already on Instagram. The February chart I've picked out is Small Token. This is another Reward of Merit chart, and it's a little pin cushion. It says pins and needles, and I really like this one. I tried to stay somewhat on themes for each month as I was picking this out. So I saw hearts, I saw pink, and I was like, that's a good one for February. Also, I'm traveling this month. It's a short month anyway. I didn't want to start anything too huge. So that is Small Token. And I have picked out fabric and floss for this. So I've got a piece of... Oh, I have no idea what this is. I'm missing the tag for this fabric, but it's kind of a yellowy, creamy linen. And I think it's 40 count. We're off to a really good start. But it's just like a yellowy, creamy linen. I don't know if the color is really gonna come through, but just a very plain color. And I pulled some floss from Stash. I pulled 4 colors. That's the other thing, is Blackbird tends to use more colors than necessary sometimes. So I think I combined some colors that'll be in this. And I just picked out like a main color for the bird, for the leaves, and then for all the little doodads. What is this gold for? I don't know. But that is what I've pulled for pins and needles. Just pulled from stash using what I had. My March star I'm really excited for. This is another out of print chart that I was able to collect last year. And I actually kitted this up for Sampler September, but never got around to starting it. And it is Quaker Garden. And it's a really beautiful sampler on green fabric with lots of like spring and just garden motifs. So I thought it would be perfect for March as we move into springtime. And I'm stitching this one on 36 count agave, which is just a Zweigart fabric. I already had this in stash, I think from StitchCon or something. So that is what I'm using there. And then I did try to pull my own flosses for this one based on stash, but I ended up just buying the called for colors. There's only 5 colors in this: blue, green, pink, gold, and white. So I bought 4 of the overdyes, and then I had the DMC like cream color already. So that is the color palette for Quaker Garden. Again, these are just the called for overdyes, and then whatever the DMC color is for the white. This is 3033, so I'd have to check the chart to see if that's the called for, but I already dropped it on the floor. So that is Quaker Garden. I'm really excited for that one. Really excited. I'm really excited for all these. I don't know why. I don't know. As we get into April and May, I have 2 charts that go together. So I haven't fully committed to which I'll start first and which I'll start second. It'll just kind of depend on the vibes. But they are Songbird Whistles, which is a drum. And this is from the Sewing Club book. It might have been released previously, but I have it in the Sewing Club book. And then the second one is, flip the page, Gathering Swallows. And it is a little needle box. So they're very, very like similar coordinating designs. There's actually a photo of them together. So I'm going to stitch these for April and May. Again, I haven't decided which will be which color or which will be which month, but those are the charts I'm going to do. I have pulled floss and fabric for this. I've got a 36 count Weathered Stone by Atomic Ranch, which is mostly white, but some parts have just a little bit of green modeling. It's really, really hard to see on camera. It just looks white, to be honest. But it's just a nice neutral. So that is Weathered Stone. And then the color palette on this reminded me a lot of my color and cotton conversion that I did for the Light Upon the Lawn. So I've got most, or like some colors from that palette of color and cottons. There's fewer colors in these, so I didn't need the full conversion. But it's just got a couple blues, couple greens, couple golds. So I'm really excited for those. I think they'll come out really, really nice and be cute little accessories. Okay, we're almost through the ones that I've kitted up. I think there's one more that I've started kitting up. So this one for June is gonna be Garden Borders. I of course had to pick a chart with strawberries on it, and I already had this one in stash. All these were in stash. I don't know why I felt the need to clarify that. This is one of the Abecedarian series, number 12, Loose Feathers Abecedarian series. This one's really, really nice. It's got little strawberries there. It's got some satin stitches. So that'll be a fun start for June. Hashtag Strawberry Moon Sal. I have a piece of 36 count Heartland by Picture This Plus. It's kind of yellowish. I don't know if that's coming across, but I think that'll be really nice for this little design. And I did pull colors from stash. This is what we're working with so far. I can't remember if I have fewer colors in this pile than what's called for. I want to try and hold them up with the fabric. But this is kind of what we're working with. So it's kind of some red, white, and blue, some green, some tan. I think that'll be a really good summer project. So as you can see, the first half of the year is pretty well kitted up. The second half, not so much. Blackbird has a tendency to repeat a lot of the same colors, so I didn't necessarily want to go through and kit everything up at once because some of the colors repeat from chart to chart, so I may want to, you know, have the floss for February, finish that chart, and be able to pull it again in July or August or whatever. So I'm only kitting up a few months in advance, just to kind of be able to play with colors and whatnot. Also, as I was going through these, I saw that some of the called for flosses I have in my current whips, and I didn't necessarily want to pull them out when I was setting all these up because I'm not getting to some of these for like 8, 9, 10 months. But I think by the time I get to starting some of these next patterns, I will be able to pull the called for colors from other projects. So I don't know if that makes sense. I haven't figured out a good way to explain that, but anyway, let's go through the second half of the year. For July, I have another Reward of Merit pin cushion. This is buttons and pins. I thought this was good for July because of the red flowers. I don't know, that just seemed right for me. I don't really stitch Americana or patriotic, but something about this just felt right for July. So that is the July star. This should be pretty easy to start and finish. And there are some buttons that you put on here. There's some satin stitches, so that one I think will be really fun. For August, my birthday month, I picked one chart that I've been eyeing for a while. I'm a little intimidated to start this and have to like get the threads and stuff. There's a lot and there's some pretty dense stitching, but this is the Country Life number 7 from the Abecedarian series. And I just think this is so funky and fun. This grass is going to be a lot to fill in, but I just think this is so fun. So fun, a little different, a little quirky. And ever since I saw this, I knew I eventually wanted to stitch it. So there's lots of fun little animals. I'm just noticing this. Oh, I guess it's a peacock. In the camera, I thought it was a flamingo. And I was like, what is a flamingo doing in the front yard? But really fun. The bottom is the focal point for this. The house doesn't matter. So that'll be my little birthday month start. I'll probably have a different like birthday start for August, but this will be my Blackbird birthday start. For September, I have Sing a Song of Seasons. This is from the Loose Feathers for the Bird series. So I really love this chart. I'm hoping to get some color and cottons possibly for this. This is from the same series as The Light Upon the Lawn. So I want to stay in the same vein and use some of the same flosses, and I don't know. That's also why I couldn't plan this far in advance, because I was getting tripped up for like projects like this where I have the idea to use color and cotton or other flosses, and it's just too much for me to think about right now. But that is Sing a Song of Seasons. For October, I of course had to pick a Halloween themed pattern or fall Halloween-esque, so I chose Midnight Watch. This one has a big black cat and a big alphabet, of course, and the cute little checkered pumpkins. This one is one of those charts that like when I first started seeing this, I wasn't obsessed with it. I was like, yeah, it's fine, but I don't need to get it. But then I saw Abby, I think, from Pansy Stitches. She was stitching this, and when I saw her stitching it, I was like, oh, I actually do like that. So I picked this up at Harvest Moon Hangout last year. So this is Midnight Watch. I'll be excited to get to stitch in this one. For November, I have Eleanor Rigby. This one is it looks monochromatic mostly, but it's actually got several colors. There's this like monotone one, but then there's also a colorway to do it like, you know, colorfully. So I haven't decided what I'll do for this one, but this is going to be my November start. And then finally for December, I have Christmas Rose. This is number 4 in the Christmas Sampler series. And obviously I had to pick a Christmas chart for December as someone who celebrates Christmas. So this is one of the ones that I have in stash. So those are all of my planned Blackbird starts. I do have 2 honorable mentions that I brought up because I could see myself starting these, but I don't necessarily have plans. So first is Forget Me Not, number 3 from the Abecedarian series. This one I'm so obsessed with. My friend Maddie from Kitty Stitch borrowed this chart last year and stitched it with a color and cotton conversion. And I was gonna put this in my like official lineup, but I just haven't gotten the conversion for it yet, and I don't know when I'm gonna be placing a color and cotton order. And so I didn't wanna like set a specific time for it and then feel rushed and stressed and all that. So Forget Me Not, I could definitely see myself starting this if I have a chance to get the color and cotton flosses this year. But I just, this one is so pretty. Lady Huzzah, Lisa handed out floss drops with a photo of her stitch of this a couple years ago at StitchCon, and Maddie and I were instantly obsessed, and yeah, I just love it. So that is, it's like on the sidelines just waiting for me to put it in. And then the other one is called My Friend's House. This is number 8 from that same series. And this, I just saw Katie Ann talk about this from Katie Ann Stitches, I think is her username. She's a relatively new floss tuber. I love her. She's going to be my friend. I don't know if she knows it. But she picked up a couple different Blackbirds, and this was one of the ones she showed, and I commented, I was like, I have that. So you let me know when you're ready to start it. And yeah, so might be doing a little stitch along with her. We have not talked about it at all, so I'm just kind of putting that into the universe. But yeah, this is one I have in stash and would be really excited to start this year if that works out. I do of course have Blackbirds that I like, that I want to stitch, that I don't have yet, but I'm limiting myself to only what I have in stash. I'm not saying I won't buy a Blackbird this year. Don't be ridiculous. But I'm not gonna buy any for this series. I do have early Christmas morning already started as a whip, so I'll of course be working on that as well. And I may have already started and finished another Blackbird that wasn't part of this, that you'll have to watch my normal Flosstube updates to see. Wink wink. I think that's everything for Blackbirds. One of the ones that is on my list is Feast of Friendship. I didn't prepare very well for this video at all. But I've seen a couple people talk about this recently, and it has this gorgeous blue house. There's a color cotton conversion for this chart too. I love color and cotton. So if you see me kitting up 3 charts from color and cotton, just look away. But yeah. What did I just say it was called? Feast of Friendship. And it has this huge blue house and this overflowing like basket or cornucopia or something. If I had that chart, it would absolutely be my like November Thanksgiving start, but I don't have it in stash. So Eleanor Rigby it is. But that one's definitely on my wish list, maybe for 2027. All right, I think that's everything as far as Blackbird plans. I do have some other charts by other designers milling around that I may want to start, but that is nothing set in stone. The Blackbird charts are really the only strict plan I have for myself, and that's all we're sharing today. So please stay tuned if you're excited to see how these charts come out, how I end up stitching them, if I end up stitching them, if I change the plan entirely, who knows. It's all, you know, it's like penciled in. Nothing is permanent, nothing is set in stone until I've stitched it. So Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and check out my Flosstube updates throughout the year to see my progress, or follow along on my Instagram to see how these charts are going. And let me know if you have any questions, or if you want to start any of these projects with me, or if you're interested in the charts that I have that I didn't choose. I'd love to kind of flip through my blackbird collection and share that with you. There are so many wonderful people who probably have way more than I do, but I've got a nice little collection started and I'm really happy about it and excited to work through it. That is quite enough rambling for today. I hope you all have a great weekend. It is Super Bowl weekend. Rip the Bills being in the Super Bowl, maybe next year. And anyway, I hope you all have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you in my next floss tube.